Addicts, we found something new to gamble on.
The first matchup of the night, Joey Graybill versus Michael Rutledge, features two burly Tennesseans with their putters head-to-head. These two mini golf aficionados have a wealth of experience at Mossy Creek, and it is here where they will again place their balls on the line. This will no doubt intensify the trash talking when these two WPL vets collide.
Look what he's talking. Just tell the person that was luck. That'll get somebody fired up. Oh my goodness.
Don't miss the Tennessee Shine Invitational, Sunday, August 13th, only at theworldputtingleague.com.
World Putting League, and you can gamble on it on DraftKings, Pat.
Whew, my goodness. We talk about some players being electric on the PGA Tour, but that was pure electricity right there. Oh, wow.
I feel like if I were a World Putting League guy, I feel like this is the shirt that would define me. You know, in all my promos I would wear. I feel like this was the most World Putting League shirt I owned.
I'd be scared. I'd be a little nervous of you in the WPL.
Yeah. We're going to get to know some of the characters that are playing in this week's Tennessee Shine Invitational. And again, casually perusing DraftKings Sportsbook and the golf odds, and you click on View All, and you just happen to see World Putting League. And you dig into it. Like, there's so many things to bet on. There's matchups. There's overall outrights. There's hole-in-one over-unders. We're going to get into that. I don't know. We're just going to kind of get to know this place, the golf course, the format, the competitors, Pat. Let's start off with this. And I'm going to drop another shocking piece of information onto you and the people. Ready? But on the mic will be Rufus and Rob Pizzola. And apparently they've done it before. So, I thought I was kind of stumbling onto something here that was, that I just kind of found something new. And these guys are already on it. They're already sniffing it out. Some of the best golf handicappers in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you see those folks on here. I mean, obviously that means there's probably a little bit of an advantage in this when it comes to betting. So I'll be looking out for some of the lines that we're going to see, and excited to get to know these players here, these athletes.
Look at these athletes too. We're going to get to know them a little bit more, but I mean, basically, it's a four-person competition where, as I understand it, it's kind of a Tennessee versus Texas thing.
Okay.
And so you got two total man dimes from Tennessee in Joey Graybill and Michael Rutledge. They're going to go head-to-head. And then two folks from Texas, Rainey Statham, who apparently is known in the Texas mini golf scene. Rainey is going to go against Olivia Prokopova, who was originally from the Czech Republic, now lives in Texas. They're going to go head-to-head, and then the winners between the two matchups are going to play to determine the Tennessee Shine and Company Invitational. By the way, Tennessee Shine is exactly what you think it is. Fantastic moonshine company. I've already looked into it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I've got my eye on Olivia Prokopova. Is that you did so well with it? I thought I had it, and then I just couldn't get it there.
I got to be honest. When I first saw her name, this did not happen. This didn't happen intentionally, but this is a name I've not thought of in almost a half a decade because I don't know what she's doing anymore. I think she's probably irrelevant. But when I heard her name and I said it in my brain, I thought of Anna Kournikova.
The great tennis player. Yeah. She's married to Enrique Iglesias.
Stop it.
She was. Yeah.
Well, Anyway, yeah. So this girl's apparently extremely good. She's won a bunch of competitions, and I did some other research. She does this for a living, literally does it for a living. And I don't know if all these people do, but I'm excited to learn more about the competitors. Before we get into it, I want to talk about the golf course, and I want to talk about the format, Pat. So let's take a look at the format. Things people need to know. This is a 2-round single elimination, 1v1 stroke play. So it's not match play when they're playing each other. It's stroke play, which I thought was winner of each match advances to the final round. Sudden death playoff, you got that. Everything starts at 6, and it's live. It's live stream. It's not pre-recorded. So you bet on this. You sweat it live with Rufus and Rob Pizzola. I can't wait. The course will be played at Mossy Creek Miniature Golf Course in Jefferson City, Tennessee, which again we will learn more about here very shortly. And I love this part. You see the bottom bullet point there, Pat?
All players in the field are required to abide by and sign anti-doping and anti-wagering contracts.
I mean, obviously anti-wagering makes sense.
Yeah, but
if DraftKings is going to support it, the anti-doping contract, is there a PED problem lingering potentially in the WPL?
There's obvious a reason they put that in there. There's not that many bullet points that you just went over, and that one's in there. So
these, they're not doing this, but I could see a little, something to calm the nerves, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I could see that being a thing. All right, let's get to the golf course real quick, Pat. Ready? Look at this. Look at this.
Oh,
I mean, right there, you got a church. If you need to go to church right after, maybe, or maybe go before. That might help you out. You can see it's just your, stereotypical Gerald Ross design. It just kind of goes in and out, very flat, very little undulation there on the course.
Look at how beautiful though. Look at those grounds. I mean, just so aesthetically pleasing.
Very well manicured there.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. I mean, it looks like a good time. You got a halfway house. I don't know. Maybe they serve transfusions right there. Maybe potentially.
Yeah.
There's some water features on the hole. You can see water does come into play.
Still looking for the creek.
Yep. So let's get into a little more detail about that. I want to highlight two holes in particular, Pat. In fact, other than betting on the players, you can also bet on, there's hole props. For example, for 6 at Mossy Creek with the famous volcano mound. I mean, which is everybody knows. Everybody knows volcano mound is a very typical architectural feature. It's like a,
it's like a Redan on
like
some of the great, on a great,
drop.
But the thing is, that's a touch shot. It's all about touch. I mean, if you cannot get too aggressive with that shot, you got to hit it just right. Otherwise, you could be there all day, DB.
Yeah, it looks like the best putter in our field has aced this hole 5 of 10 attempts, while Mike Rutledge is 0 for his last 10. And I don't know who they're calling the best putter in the field there. I mean, we got to find that out. It might be the guy who's the favorite over Rutledge, Mr. Joey Graybeal.
Rutledge has a tendency though for 4 putts, and I feel like this would be a hole that he could 4 putt on.
I'm sorry. Did you just make that up?
No, I was doing some research, and he has a tendency to do some 4 putting out here. And I mean, obviously you don't want that. And this feels like a hole that this could happen on. And he's never made a hole in one on this hole. So,
wow. Okay. And things I didn't see coming was Pat being prepared with data and research for the WPL situation. Let's look at another hole here. One more to show you. This is number 11. Oh, by the way, the over-under there is your hole-in-ones. So over under a half a hole-in-one on number 6. Same thing here on number 11, which this hole just really caught my eye, Pat. Yeah. Just beautiful features here with this weird kind of crossover bridge thing, but you can take the low side. In the bank shot. So Rutledge has the best statistics on this hole, only acing it 3 out of 10 attempts.
So obviously these are the 2 most difficult holes on the course, I would guess, at over and under at a half, because they're basically saying they only see maybe 1 hole-in-one.
Yeah, and that's the famous Rogan's Bridge right there.
Yeah.
That's
with those beautiful landscape rocks. Is that what they're called?
Dude, those are nice river rocks. And I added those at my house a couple years ago. And it's one of the best decisions I ever made instead of mulch. I mean, you just can't – I can't tell you how much better that is instead of mulch. Yeah, so the court – that's a little bit on the golf course. I want to give you one more breakdown. Our boy Rob Pizzola talked about number 2. I mean, this is – I'm telling you, Pat, I stumbled upon some content here from Rob and the Hammer Network. And, I mean, we can gamble on this. Like, we can make some money on it. I can hit an outright finally. What if I hit an outright here? But let's watch this video real quick from our friend Rob Pizzola. He did a breakdown on number 2. Apparently, Rob has been to these other tournaments and played the course.
The way that I watched hole number 2 play, the way that they talked about this one, they were saying this is probably the best chance you're going to have at an ace on the hole. It starts left side of the tee, play left side of the tee here. Kind of play it lightly as you are on an uphill, and it does speed up towards the end a little bit.
I noticed
there's a couple different places you can play this one. If you want to leave it up a little bit more to the right there, where the plant is, as you can see where he's pointing, let it kind of funnel back down towards the hole.
Look at that touch.
Or the other way that you could play this one is keeping it a little bit more tight to the rocks on the left-hand side and taking slightly more of a direct route than letting it hang out and come back in. Now, Rob, I know you've broke down this hole yourself. What were your thoughts when you watched this one play out?
Drop it.
Yeah, so interestingly, like this is very much a pace, getting the right speed putt. You can see Kyle Cutshaw here leaves that one short, and then he kind of just taps it down the hill, and it will funnel towards the hole as it does right there. Kyle Cutshaw is the owner of Mossy Creek.
Oh, that's right there,
in Tennessee. So he knows this pretty well. This will be Frankie Buckets here as well. He's a pro, plays for the U.S. national team, and he'll give you a different look at an angle that's a little closer to the inside rock here. But overall, this is a very aceable hole. We're going to see the total, the ace total on this hole set at 1.5 instead of half, with good plus money on the over and pretty high vig on the under. The field at the U.S. Open this year aced this hole just about 37% of the time. So that's everyone that played. The pros that are playing at the Tennessee Shine Invitational aced it 60% of the time.
Ooh, okay.
60% of the time. We have a U.S. Open. And it was hosted at Mossy Creek. Apparently, Mossy Creek is like the Pine Valley of the World Putting League.
I mean, apparently, and I mean, that hole looked it looked gettable. It was a gettable hole. And like he said, I mean, 60% there with a hole-in-one rate of the participants that are going to be in the Tennessee Shine Invitational, 60%.
Speaking of the participants, let's get to know the participants. Pat, first matchup. Michael Rutledge, who you've talked about, apparently has a 4-putt issue. Joey Graybill. Joey's 52. Michael's 43. I love the nicknames. I love that Joey goes by the Notorious instead of just Notorious. I think the adds a little bit of extra oomph behind it. Michael's the Viper. He's the Viper.
I kind of wonder where he got the Viper. I tell you this, though, on the player cards here, we've got the ages. But, and they say this. They say that age is just a number. But I think that really holds true when it comes to the WBPL. The WPL, the age is just a number, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Both these boys from the mean but prideful streets of Bristol, Tennessee. Love to see that. Graybill's apparently hot. I mean, that's why he's the favorite. He's a -250 favorite. These are DraftKings sportsbook odds right now. Graybill is a -250 favorite in this matchup versus Michael Rutledge. Graybill's won the last 3 WPL events. I mean, obviously that's why he's the favorite. He's got the unique claw grip. He won the Tennessee Open in 2022 at this golf course. He won the Masters. There's a putting league Masters in 2019 and the U.S. Open in 2016. Started working in putt-putt at 15. Let me tell you what. There's something me and Mr. Graybill have in common, and it ain't just flashy shirts. My first job was a putt-putt golf course, Pat, when I was 16 years old, right here in Augusta, Georgia. Still open. I'm about to be 40. Augusta, Georgia has one of the best putt-putts in the world. In fact,
they really do.
Pat, the year I was there, we hosted I think it was a worldwide putting tournament, like championship. I don't know if it was, I don't think it was WPL, but it was a thing. And I remember at 16, this dude from like Scotland was there, and I went out and played around with him, and he showed me. I've been playing that same course since I was like 2 years old, and he showed me all the quirky little angles and where to hit the bumper and how to play this hole, and it totally blew my mind. It was like a whole new world. I'd never played the holes in that way, and he showed me how to do it. I'll never forget it. And I still, when I play that course today with my kids, I remember some of what he taught me, and it makes me a better putter. These guys are incredible with what they know and where to hit the rock on what corner and how to. It's pretty lit. But I share that in common with Joey Graybill.
Did you later bring some of this knowledge? Because I know you're Augusta National caddy. Did you bring some of that putting knowledge into what you did out there?
Well, I mean, I tried to, not really. I tried to kind of treat Augusta National as its own thing. But it may have helped me in terms of some creativity. There's a lot of undulation on the slopes of Augusta National and the greens there, and maybe it probably helped me in that way. Now I want to bring this out with these two player cards, Pat, because I mean you could argue that while Joey Graybill is the big favorite here, attack style is aggressive. Michael Rutledge's attack style is very aggressive. Now, what do you make of that?
Couple things. One, I'm not sure what the levels are, like how you go from aggressive to very aggressive. And all I can think of is like in a
yes.
Sorry.
I can't wait to hear what you can think of.
Okay. Whew. Man. I don't think I can get it out. I don't think I can get it out.
That just kind of came over you, huh?
Yes, it did. It had to do with aquarium fish.
What? Aquarium fish? Because you can't put a very aggressive fish with another aggressive fish. One of them
they'll kill each other.
You never know what could happen. You can tune in live.
Like when you're trying to buy an aquarium fish, they have on the card when you're trying to buy the aquarium fish, it says whether or not they're aggressive or very aggressive, and that's how you tell like which fish you want to get and which can go together. So that was the first thing I thought of when you asked me.
So in other words, these two boys don't mix, man. They don't mix.
They don't mix good. They're not going into the same aquarium. So somebody's coming out, and it's gonna be a battle. That's all I'm saying.
Speaking of that, I mean, Michael Rutledge did hop on camera and he gave a quick little interview. A couple of things to note here in this clip I want us to pay attention to.
There's certain holes you definitely need to be aggressive on that can be made.
Maybe very.
I want to go try to make those. And if I bogey them, I bogey them. I think, if it was a longer, say it was like a 4 or 5 round tournament, I think it would come out to my advantage. It's been a 1 rounder. It may hurt me actually, but that's just me. I'm going for it. If it can be made, I'm going to try to make it.
How your approach is going to be going into this one against Joey here.
Yeah, it's just like what you're saying. We played there before. Both of us have. I was kidding around with the course owner the other day when I was there. And he's like, yeah, Joey was here the other day. I said, yeah, of course he has. It'd be interesting. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it'll be a great tournament.
So a couple things there, Pat. I mean, first of all, both men getting in some early action there at the course, scouting it out early, making trips ahead of time, as we see a lot of PGA Tour golfers do. But I mean, I don't love to hear Rutledge talk about how, he literally conceded that it kind of helps Joey's style in terms of this golf course at Mossy Creek. I mean, and clearly, it's hosted a U.S. Open, so typically that means a little more difficult. Sometimes you have to play a little more conservative. You can't be too aggressive or very aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, Rutledge kind of feels a little bit like the Phil Mickelson of the WPL. Like he's just going to go for broke. He's going to try. He's looking for birdies. He just said he doesn't care if he makes a bogey. So I mean, it could end up well. But we'll see. I have a feeling that the less aggressive Graybill is going to have a little bit better, like more consistent round.
Yeah, let's take a look at the next matchup, Pat. We've got this is the Texas side of the bracket. Olivia Prokopova and Rainey Statham. Rainey, nicknamed the Texas putting legend, and then Olivia, of course, is the goddess. I freaking love it. Originally from the Czech Republic, lives in Pasadena, has won consecutive Masters, 2021 and 2022. 2 green jackets, Pat. Top 10 in 18 of her last 20 tournaments. Started putting at age 3. Now she's known as a volume putter, and I'm gonna have to pay attention to the broadcast on that one, Pat. I'm not really sure. I don't. Typically golf is better the less strokes you take. I would think volume putting is probably not what you would want to do, but apparently she's really good at this. Same attack style as Michael Rutledge, very aggressive, which could prove in her benefit here this week. Any thoughts on Olivia after learning a little more about her? Obviously, she's the youngest person in this tournament at 28 years old. All these men could be her father.
Well, yeah, it's like I said. I mean, Olivia is one I've got my eye on. I think, you know, in my eyes, she's kind of the favorite. I just feel like that's just what I think after, you know, reading a lot about her. And, you know, she's got the stats there. She's got the finishes. She can win. So I think it's going to be tough for Rainey in this matchup. But Rainey's got, I mean, he's got the pleats on in this card, in this player card. And when you got pleats on, anything can happen.
Okay, but you know what? I saw another video of Rainey, Pat, where he was wearing like some pinkish, like salmon, not like a pinkish reddish pant with a white belt. The pants were not pleated. He actually looked quite fresh, and I kind of thought, wow, this guy might be more my speed. But now
is he kind of a Ricky Fowler of the WPL?
Definitely is the best dressed of these four. It depends on what you define as best dressed. I mean, Joey Graybill's put together a few stunning outfits in the few tournaments I've gone back and watched a little bit of his action. Definitely dresses like a man who doesn't care, or maybe isn't married, or if he is married, isn't married to a woman that cares. That's kind of his style, but it works. He intimidates his opponents. But it does seem to me that Rainey is the best dressed, and possibly maybe the Ricky Fowler of the tour.
Yeah. I'm always, I tell you what, you get kind of even odds on him to win.
Yeah.
It feels that feels pretty good too. So we'll have to see what happens.
Been putting for 34 years. I mean, dang, you know, he's won the US Open, the Masters, and the Putt-Putt National Championship. I mean, my God. He finished first in all the pro qualifiers against PGA Tour athletes. I'm not even sure what to think about that. Oh, look, and see, dressed to impress. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I like Rainey. He's got a little bit of style on him.
Yeah.
Attack style is conservative. So he's the only one conservative out of the four, but could prove to be beneficial here at the US Open hosting Mossy Creek. So I'm interested in a little Rainey too. I think he could be a sleeper here, both to take down Olivia, but also to potentially make it to the final matchup against likely, you know, Joey Graybill, and the conservative versus aggressive styles go head to head.
Yeah, and then we'll see where the odds go there. That'll be interesting to see what happens. Both great matchups, though.
Speaking of odds, I mean, I'm telling you, look, this is right off of DraftKings Sportsbook. This is overall outright odds to win the whole thing. Joey Graybill is plus 150. I mean, it's plus money. You know? I mean, it obviously is very apparent that he's a heavy favorite to make it through the first match. I'm interested. I don't know that I've landed on it just yet, but I'm intrigued. And then you've got all these other bets that you can make on DraftKings Sportsbook per matchup. Here's Olivia and Rainey's matchup. You can bet on total hole-in-ones. I mean, total for both is 6.5 between the 18 holes. I mean, I don't know. I've 7 hole-in-ones and 36 attempts out of those two. What do you think? I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
They've obviously got the individual hole totals, and then you can do the same thing for Joey and Michael here. Now, their hole-in-ones are at 5.5, which I found interesting. Like, you got Graybill in there, but maybe they're thinking Rutledge, 4-putting Rutledge is too much of a liability to get the over-under number up, huh?
Yeah, I tell you what, that under on number 6 looks good. Looks a little juicy for me. No hole-in-ones there on number 6.
Number 6 is a tough hole. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're interested in this, and it's something different. You know what I mean? It's something different. The PGA Tour season's wrapped up, or kind of wrapping up. Something different. So we're going to handicap this thing. We're going to put a blog article out on tourjunkies.com. You can check it out. It's going to be free to read. We're also going to send an email with some intel, our thoughts, places where you can find more coverage of this event. And we encourage you guys to watch along with us. We'll probably be checking it out. Watch everything live on the World Golf League YouTube channel, World Putting League YouTube channel. There's a link in the description of the video and podcast, or you can go to watch.proleaguenetwork.com. All the competition starts at 6 p.m. Eastern this Sunday. I think that's August 14th, if I'm doing this right. Yes. Is that right? 11th, 12th, no, 13th. Yeah, right?
13th.
August 13th. You can watch everything 6 p.m. Eastern. This is going to be electric. I'm excited about it. It's unique, and I can't believe it's on DraftKings. So there you go. That's it for us. We'll see what happens. Shout out to Rufus and Rob for putting us onto this too. And enjoy. Let's go make DraftKings pay. See ya.